What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's new episode. Hope you guys are doing well. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how I got introduced to mixed martial arts and watching the UFC. For me personally, it was Brandon Moreno versus Alexandre Pantoja for the title. Watch this fight from beginning to end. Absolute war. I highly recommend you guys watching that back if you guys have UFC Fight Pass or on YouTube. Crazy fight, bro. Absolutely crazy. I've never felt anything like that before in my life, where I'm like so emotionally invested in seeing what's going to happen, wanting to see who wants it more, who's tired, who doesn't want to give up. And I feel like that fight is the representation of martial arts, not only by kind of the fight and the primal energy that goes on, but actually the intelligence and the thought that has to go down in order to apply technique. And growing up, I watched movies like Enter the Dragon, Karate Kid, even Never Back Down was a movie I was super hyped to watch about. It's like, man, it's hard to explain, but it's like really kind of the underdog, or the person who really had to believe in themselves to overcome adversity and challenge. And that led me to start watching more of the UFC, and that led us here, bro. We started a YouTube channel, train jujitsu, and we talk about the UFC as well. And I've been really trying to stay on top of the things, watching the fights. UFC 312 just finished, and we also have UFC Fight Night coming up this Saturday, main event with Jerry Cannonier and Gregory Rodriguez. So personally, I know a little bit about Jerry Cannonier. He started martial arts a little bit later in his life, and he's a perfect representation of kind of discipline and sacrifice and not giving up on himself, bro. So if you guys want to fight or break down Jerry Cannonier, we could do that as well. But I'm excited, bro. He's still 40 years old in the UFC, doing his thing. I listened to him on the JRE podcast, and his mindset is one of the samurai as well, kind of similar to Yuri Prohaska. He talks about learning from different types of disciplines and applying it to his life. And it's something that I feel like UFC is able to provide, because you have to be a certain type of person to be able to get in the cage and to test yourself, man. And a lot of these guys sacrifice so much, and they really try to apply whatever they can to the fight. And learning and understanding his philosophy and mental strength is a huge part of martial arts. And that's something I really want to start getting into. I want to start reading more books, listening to more podcasts, and overall, down the line, I want to be able to talk to some fighters, maybe some jiu-jitsu competitors. And I want to know your guys' thoughts on kind of the UFC as a whole and what kind of direction it could be. Honestly, I still think the UFC is still in its early stages, and it could be broadcasted worldwide. I still think that there's still a lot of potential when it comes to tapping into other countries like India and China, different types of organizations getting involved. And I feel like that UFC and fighting itself is kind of like a universal thing. Like, you don't need to know a certain language to understand what a jab is or a rear naked choke. Is really kind of universal. And that's something I actually realized when we went to Japan and trained over there at Gracie Bar in Japan. It's like, you don't even need to know the language as long as you could see what's going on. And it's kind of a language in itself with martial arts. And although martial arts could be violent, especially in the UFC, it could also bring others together, just with philosophy and mindset and overcoming challenge and adversity, and just understanding yourself in a deeper way could help improve and increase the human potential, some might say, of yourself. And that's something that I really want to make sure that we're doing our best to obtain, and to make sure that we're pushing ourselves and striving to improve. And I feel like the UFC is a great representation of some great representation of a platform where people are able to kind of evolve and make a name for themselves, and kind of develop as their careers go on. Now, it is a crazy sport, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I do think there is beauty in the madness. They're literally putting it on the line, fighting for their lives, and it's just a crazy thing to be able to see and to witness. And although it can be crazy, I do think there can be aspects of it that benefit others. So hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I just want to talk about a little bit of kind of why I am so passionate about mixed martial arts. As of late, I'm like, yo, this is insane. This is awesome. I want to talk more about it. It's fun to talk about. Let me know what fight got you guys interested into watching the UFC or even jiu-jitsu. If you guys have a favorite competitor, what competitor did you watch compete and kind of get you even more involved than you already were? So let me know in the comments down below. Hope you guys have a great day. We're going to get after it. And if you guys have any recommendations for a fighter breakdown, we could talk about some fighter stories and go more in depth. Let me know in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's go.